What's good, people? What's good? It's the boy Bun the Great coming to you with another video for Black Myth Wukong with the lies from Forbes. And you know I trust this Forbes for a lot of my gaming stuff, man. And that's the reason why they need to bring back Game Informer and you know what I'm saying, have articles from other people off in there. And that's another reason why I trust content creators, people that actually play the game or whatnot, and not trying to have no agenda, because they're going to give you the truth. They're going to give you the truth about any game you play or whatnot. Whether if you believe what that content creator say or that person that is actually a reviewer that built up their channel, other than these big companies that's trying to push a political agenda. But anyway, I'm finna stop talking. But y'all make sure y'all go follow him though. Y'all make sure y'all go follow him. And yeah, let's get up into this joint, man. Let's get up into it.
Black Myth Wukong just might not be gay enough for the modern day political progressive gaming industry nowadays. That's why the lies and smears against Black Myth Wukong seem to be unending, even coming out of mainstream outlets like Forbes magazine, as they paint the GameScience developers as one of the most evil organizations, at least within the video game sphere, by saying they put out a talking points memo to all reviewers that they have to follow these guidelines or they're not allowed to actually release their reviews. And this is something that had people stirring on the internet, talking about what's going on with GameScience and developers. What type of evil organization is this? Why are they restricting freedom of speech? Why are they limiting the voices of the people that want to review this game? And this led all to an accusation against GameScience developers of being anti-women, anti-freedom of speech, anti-games development, and anti-creative. And of course, when you look into the details of the accusations, it comes out that these were all lies, especially getting confirmation from people that actually reviewed the game. And this is an interesting tidbit that we're seeing right now, where the attacks against Black Myth Wukong are increasing, and it's leading to a backlash within the audience itself. And you don't know what I'm talking about. Talk about the Forbes magazine article that came.
Okay, so before we keep on going, right? So I've been doing a lot of research about it. So in order to get the accurate fucking what is that? What am I looking for? In order to get the accurate rules and regulations to stream this game or whatnot, you have to have a pass key to stream the game. And it does give you regulations on what you can do. Like, for instance, you can't degrade nobody. You can't use political reviews or whatnot. Pretty much it's telling you just to enjoy the game and don't try to put in your nonsense about the Chinese government or whatever. At the end of the day, it's just a fucking game. It is just a game, and you know what I'm saying? I don't know why people are bringing in their political views to a video game. If you have, in my opinion, if you have political views, people, don't do it in the game. Don't put it in the game, because gamers don't want to hear or see that. Now, if it's a game about that type of stuff, then okay. But this is a mythical game where you're fighting. You're an animal fighting against other animals. But anyway, let's get back into it.
Came out recently saying that Black Myth Wukong set a standard of guidelines for all reviewers that receive early review codes for the game, where they had to follow the strict standard of not talking about politics and policies within the Chinese government. And this is something a lot of people bought into, because we suspected that would be the case for this sort of situation for a game developer that may be tied to the government in some sort of way. We don't know the ties for this game, but we know a lot of companies in China are tied to the government. So people quickly believed this doc that came out saying these strict guidelines to restrict the overall discussion around the game for reviewers as well. And this is the sheet that came out that was purported to be from GameScience, the developers themselves, where they were saying this is a notice to all.
Alright, we're finna stop it right here. So if you look at this, right, and this was supposed to be from GameScience. By using this game key and creating content, you acknowledge that you have been informed of the following content of your statements and not related to the marketing team. Say do's and don'ts. Do's, enjoy the game. All right, cool. Do not insult other influencers or players. Do not use any offensive language slash humor or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I say, got regulations of do's and don'ts, but it's a plot twist. It is a plot twist to it, and I'm gonna let him discuss the rest of it.
All people reviewing the game and their coverage of Black Myth Wukong by saying that using the game key and creating content, you acknowledge that you have been informed of the following content and your statements are not related to the marketing team. And this is the do's and don'ts that they supposedly listed out for reviewers. And this came out and it said, enjoy the game. Obviously, that's something they want you to do. Then it says, do not insult other influencers and players. Do not use offensive language and humor. Do not include politics, violence, nudity, feminist propaganda, fetishization, and other content that instigates negative discourse. Do not use trigger words such as quarantine, isolation. Do not discuss content related to Chinese gaming industry policies, opinion, and news. This is the note that was purportedly coming out to all reviewers that were reviewing the game. And you can see it listed in this note that it's talking about people reviewing the game. And this was confirmed by Paul Tassi of Forbes, someone who's supposed to be credible. And of course, he didn't get a review code himself, but he's just reporting this. And I think this is a situation where a lot of people were angry.
And see, that's all that matters right there. How are you going to report this, right? And you do not have a game pass key or whatnot, but you're reporting it anyway. So what is the false narrative? Why are you trying to deliver a false narrative to get people to stop playing or don't play the game or whatnot? Now, granted, I know that there is people upset about this stuff because Forbes is one of those gaming one of those review companies that a lot of people go to get the reviews of the game or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But then you come out and you say some bull crap like this, and you didn't even get the pass key. You didn't even get the game pass key. So what are you doing? What are you doing? You got a secret agenda.
Angry at GameScience, the developers, without having any other confirmation, because this is what used to happen in old media where people trust these large magazines with historical standards, and Forbes is one of those journalist magazines that people trusted for some sort of news and confirmation, and that wasn't the case with this story, and of course many stories in the modern era where you can't trust the journalists, the prestigious journalists from a prestigious magazine about the content they're putting out, because this story was immediately discredited by the reviewers themselves that received the review code and key.
And see, that's crazy. So this dude then went and made this false narrative about GameScience, not realizing that other people got the damn game key and the do's and the don'ts, and so pretty much you fabricated some paperwork. You fabricated some stuff just to pass a narrative, and I already know it's gonna come all the way back to Sweet Baby and screenrant. Trust me, I know it's gonna come back to that.
Came out and said, PSA before you go mental about this review doc, at least in the UK, included absolutely nothing like this. It's pretty standard. It's pretty standard to get something like this, but the contents in this note are completely fabricated. They didn't receive this. Usually when you get content like this, continues on, list of in-game content we can't mention, no journalist would agree to embargo with any anti-feminism clauses or any other clauses. No one would agree to this, and they probably would talk out about it if that was the case, and that wasn't the case when people got the review keys a few weeks ago. So this is the kind of fabrication that is being put out right now to damage Black Myth Wukong, the game itself, because it's a game that is highly wish listed. People want to play this game. It's number one on
look at that, it's number one on Steam. Let's say number 4 right there, but I know the numbers are going up. Like, what are we doing, man? Like, what is the agenda? Do you really want flamboyant ass people in the game? Like, come on, man. All that diversity and being included That's not going to happen everywhere, man. That's not going to happen everywhere. And I wish people would understand that. Because if you think about it, it's some stuff that straight people are not included in at all. But you don't hear us complaining about that. Hey, that's y'all thing. Y'all do y'all thing. But this is a game, people. A game. Come on now.
Steam, even its benchmarking demo was ranked in the top 10 of Steam. This is a game that is getting the success it deserves because it's one of the better games of the year, and it's not in line with a lot of the politics that is occurring in the modern Western games industry. And of course, people are going to go back to that extortion attempt from Sweet Baby Inc., the alleged extortion attempt from Sweet Baby Inc. to ask for over $7 million in consultancy fees, which GameScience, the developer of Black Myth Wukong, rightly refused. And ever since...
So just to let y'all know, this is a rumor. Allegedly. You know what I'm saying? But it makes sense because think about everything that's going on. Think about everything that's happening with GameScience and this game in particular. Like, come on, don't make no sense. But $7 million in extortion? Damn, you really want to be included, right? That's crazy work. That's nasty.
Since after refusing this extortion attempt from Sweet Baby Inc., they've been hit by multiple hit pieces from mainstream gaming journalists. You can see this from IGN, Kotaku. Everyone's attacking them on this almost flimsy argument of a mistranslation where it was supposed that they're anti-feminist or they're against policies that are concerning the rights to women, when there was just a mistranslation from the author, and this was used against the company for multiple months. And we can see this continue on with some of the trash talk that is occurring with the reviews that are coming out for this game. Of course, I'm talking about the screenrant article, where their problem with this game was the lack of inclusivity and diversity. And this is highlighted by their 3 out of 5 star review, where they trashed this game in a way where it was incongruent with a lot of the other reviews that were coming out there. No one was really talking about diversity and inclusivity in their reviews. A lot of the game reviewers that are not attached to these consultancy firms gave it a more critical and balanced review, but this one was imbalanced, and it caught everyone's attention so much that they looked at the article reviewer, the person that actually wrote the article, and you can see some backing that they have with multitude of consultancy firms that have this type of logic where they're trying to inject their modern political progressive politics into the gaming sphere. And this is the author of that article, Samar Abedin, who is a consultant for a firm.
Now see, yesterday when I did my video, I already knew who it was, but I didn't want to put the information out there like that. But he already did it. So this is the person that is literally I was talking about yesterday, about the screen rant. I don't think she plays Souls games, and this whole agenda trying to push that there's no female presence or there is no female like NPC in the game. Like, yeah, she did that to herself, but then it got to a point where they took it down to where, you know what I'm saying, for her safety. But as you can see, like I told you, people screenshot stuff, people do research. But anyway,
firm that is focused on diversity, equity, and representation in the arts, specifically video games. And I think this is the thing people are frustrated with. She's part of a consultancy firm called Splendid, where that's their main focus, equity, diversity, inclusion. And of course, her main thing about this game is focused on that aspect of the game. And I think that's the situation people are ultimately frustrated with when they're talking about some of the reviews for Black Myth Wukong, where the over-reliance on this topic of inclusion that people want to see in an ancient Chinese mythology game about fantastical animals and creatures. People don't want to see modern-day political progressivism in their ancient mythological Chinese game. And I think that's the thing that's angering people when it comes to some of these reviews, where they're so out of line with what should be the focus of a reviewer, that is showing the bias and perhaps the corruptness that we're seeing within the games journalist industry, where they're willing to make up lies about the company, tarnish its name, the developer, and the legacy of the game, because they want to see this fail, because this game is not in line with their political takes. And I think that's what we're understanding with the Forbes article, where it seems to be taking that stance where it's out there merely to smear and defame Black Myth Wukong because of its success and its non-dependency on these political narratives in the West. And I think this is the thing that is scaring these journalists and consultancy firms, that this game is having success and they have nothing to do with it, and they can't control the message in this game, and the only way they can control it is if they attack it. And that's why we're getting these weird notes coming up. That's why we're getting these discussions that are attacking the developers themselves, demanding inclusivity, demanding modern day Western politics in an ancient Chinese mythological game. And when you're hearing PC Gamer talking about the regressive views on women based on a lie from an article that was written over 6 months ago rather than the game itself, you quickly realize this is a political culture war rather than a review of a new game. These people are doing something different with their journalism and their reviews. They're trying to hold up their modern day political standards rather than giving the fans what they want, which is a clear perspective on a new game that they...
And he's 100% correct. Like, nobody wants that political shit in the game, man. Like, it's just a game. Like, I don't know why they even have a company that's supposed to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, games are diverse and they include everybody in there. Like, it's a Chinese game, for one, dealing with Chinese mythology or whatnot. I don't know why we in the West, United States, are trying to put our hands into everybody's pot. Everybody does not go by the same rules and regulations in the United States of America. And I wonder why people don't understand that, because at the end of the day, if that culture over there deals with stuff over there, like how they do with it, the only thing that we can do is it's either we're gonna buy the game or we're not gonna buy the game. That's it. But you shouldn't be trying to force other people to have the same beliefs and wants that you have. Definitely when it comes to something that you truly don't know anything about. I don't care if you're a historian and all that stuff, but if you was a historian, you probably wouldn't even did what you had did any damn way. You would understand more. But you know what I'm saying? You still don't have no right to put your hands in anything unless you are asked. Now, if GameScience had took that deal with Sweet Baby or whatever the case may be, then it'll be a whole different story. You probably ain't gonna have a lot of people playing the game because you're doing too much. Cause look at Assassin's Creed Shadows. How the fuck you make Yasuke gay? And then the Japanese government mayor, I forgot which one, I think it was the government or the mayor, they had to step in and say something to Ubisoft about this shit. Like, come on, man, make stuff make sense. But anyway, let's go.
They might actually want to play, and this is the problem. When reviewers become political activists, we can't even trust the reviews anymore, and we can't even trust the news on these games anymore because it could be out and out lies, and these lies are coming from Forbes magazine, something that's supposed to be a trusted source of journalism. They're printing these lies. Who can we trust in the video games market right now when it comes to reviews? This is where I say you have to just find one person that you like that does reviews. Hopefully they're not bought and paid for it, and I think that is your best case scenario of getting an honest review. You can't trust the Metacritic, you can't trust the amalgamation of scores anymore because everyone can be lying and everybody is following their own personal political perspective nowadays, which now has come to the forefront of any game. And I think that is a frustrating thing as a gamer myself. I don't want to hear your political talking points. I just want to hear, is the gameplay fun? How long is the game? And is the game worth its value? And this is not what we're getting anymore in games journalism. I think Paul Tassi of Forbes is the worst culprit of this, especially if this is seen as completely fabricated, because we have online documentation showing that the emails used to send this note are completely different from the GameScience developers. So the fact that the person at Forbes, a person that's supposed to be respected, couldn't do this simple investigation himself to see if the emails are the same from the original game company and this new email that has that note, him not even able to do that investigation shows that maybe that was intentional, where they're just there to bring out the bad news about this game. And I think that's probably the case, and it's unfortunate that this is the gaming industry today. Lies, politics, and smear campaigns. And that is a sad shame that is the case now, where we can't get any more honest reviews. But you tell me what you think about the situation. I'd like to hear your comments. Like, comment, share, subscribe. This is Wagner Knows Why. Catch you next time.
Man, this sucks. It sucks, man. It sucks for the fact that people just try to include everything about themselves and stuff, man. Like, why? Like, why, bro? That don't make no sense, man. You really just trying to mess up stuff because you feel like, come on. But anyway, like I said, you know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all go check him out or whatnot. I just felt like I needed to bring this some more attention because the more of us stick up for what we like to do, the better off we'll be or whatnot. And we need to do that in everything else that we like and love and for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Read between the lines, people. But anyway, hey, I appreciate y'all being here. Hey, how about y'all go subscribe to my channel? Y'all leave a like, y'all share. Let's boost this channel up, man. So the more of us to build up this channel, the better off I'll be with making good content for everybody. But until next time, hope you have a nice day. This is Bun the Great, signing out.